So thank you, Paul. Thank you for taking out some time to do this interview with me today. And before we can move forward, could you please briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, my name is Paul Pacun, co-founder of Myotic. We're better known by our trade name, which is Vablet. Think of tablet with a V.
Okay, and where are these companies located?
We are located in Irvine, California.
Okay, great. And could you tell us a little bit about both of Vablet and the other company that you mentioned?
So Vablet is a product line. It
Mm-hmm.
is a sales enablement tool that was designed for regulated industries, because most of my career has been in regulated industries. And then Myotic is the company that pays all of the bills. But we're known by
Okay,
Vablet,
yeah,
and I'm known as Mr. Vablet in Orange County.
okay. And how many employees do you currently have associated with the company?
We have 15 employees, and then we have a marketing firm.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. And what motivated you to start this company?
Well, the Vablet, we'll just take Vablet, the product.
Mm-hmm.
In April of 2010, I was in New York City visiting friends that I met in high school.
Yeah.
And one of them said the iPad, which was not on the market yet, was going to change the world. I thought that was very interesting. He teaches PhDs how to be more creative. So that Saturday morning, I'm back in California. I grabbed my 13-year-old daughter. We head off to the Apple store in one of those 3-hour lines.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, could you come in? Do you want to come in and touch it for 5 minutes and go back in line again? I was
What?
fortunate enough to work for IBM when they launched the PC, and you never talked about touching a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, I walk in, I touch the iPad, I go, this is amazing. I go, what's a really good game? Because I was used to buying Nintendo cartridges for like $30 a game.
Mm-hmm.
And they said Plants vs. Zombies. So we take the iPad home. I give it to my 7-year-old son. He's never seen the device before. And within minutes, he's playing Plants vs. Zombies, touching and pinching and zooming. And that day we went to the California Science Center, and not one are we there yet. So I
Mm-hmm.
figured any parent that has a car and a kid will get a tablet. And then that morning when I woke up, I'm like, how do I get my corporate content onto this device? My
Mm-hmm.
daughter was a film student at NYU making videos, and I wanted her videos on my iPad. So I thought of video, tablet, Vablet. So then I started architecting the solution on
Mm-hmm.
April 10th of 2010. My vision was you'd walk into a doctor's office, they would hand you a tablet, and you'd watch a video on implants or abutments or Latisse or Botox. So the doctor didn't have to do that same spiel over and
Mm-hmm.
over again. And California has such a multicultural background. You could have videos in English and in Farsi and in Japanese. So you could be watching a video in your language, being educated before you saw the doctor. And that's what really had us start building Vablet. And we launched
Mm-hmm.
in December of 2010 in the App Store.
That's amazing. And who are the main customers of Vablet? Is it the health industry or in general?
The majority of our clients are in the health industry.
Okay.
So these major brands that are typically selling to doctors
Mm-hmm.
is our client base. So imagine that they're trying to sell a LASIK machine.
Yeah.
They would present their videos and their calculators and their tech specs on their tablet when they're
Mm-hmm.
presenting to sell a LASIK machine or a cataract machine or a defibrillator. So it is, most of it's B2B. That's what we
Mm-hmm.
do. And most of it is regulated industry. So we have life sciences and we have investment banking.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a couple other companies like Brother and Avery Dennison, but the majority of our clients are regulated.
Awesome. And do people need like a special person to create content for Vablet, or anybody can do it?
Anybody can create content. So at first it was any content that an iPad could support, we would
Mm-hmm.
support. And then we help our clients if they have, say, PowerPoint and you want it converted into HTML5, there are these really great tools. So we don't typically create any content for our clients. They create a lot of rich multimedia content and they manage the platform typically on their own.
Okay, great. And how about your schooling? Can you tell us a little bit about where you went to school and what was your major?
Hardcore nerd. So
Okay.
my high school is Bronx High School of Science
Uh-huh.
in New York City, Rensselaer Polytechnic, which is in Troy, New York, for an undergraduate
Mm-hmm.
degree in mechanical engineering, and then MBA Pepperdine Graduate School of Business. I've always
Okay.
been a business geek nerd.
Okay, that's a really good combination. That's nice. And did the entrepreneur life choose you, or did you choose it?
Oh, I've been an entrepreneur since I've been like yee high, selling
Okay.
T-shirts at rock concerts.
Mm-hmm.
When I first moved to California, I worked in the computer factory by day. This is back in 1985, so I'm dating
Mm-hmm.
myself. And I was a Lotus consultant by night. So no, it's always been that. And my parents own their own dress manufacturing business.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's chosen for me. It was a life I was born into.
Mm.
And it's been a wonderful ride so far.
Well, that's really nice. That's really nice to have people around you who are already entrepreneurs and to learn from them. That's really great. And so, according to you, what is a basic skill set required to start a business?
I think skill set is be open to ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So that don't shut people down if they're wrong. You can learn something from everybody you talk to,
Yeah.
which is one, you need passion.
Mm.
You got to like what you do, and especially if you're a founder, it's a lot of work and it may not be a lot of pay for a lot longer than you think. But you just, as long as you have that drive and every day you like coming to work,
Mm-hmm.
you just, once again, you need that. You have to be self-motivated. I think that's the key goal for an entrepreneur: passion and
Mm-hmm.
self-motivation.
That's really interesting. I talk to like a lot of people, and self-motivation is like a lot of people mention that topic. That if you are an entrepreneur and you're doing things on your own, there will be times that you hit like really low, and during that time you just need to keep moving forward and believe in yourself. And self-motivation is like a big factor in that. That's true. I agree with you on that completely. And for people who are for newcomers who are just starting out, how difficult would you say it is for them to start a business in 2021, especially given this pandemic situation?
I think there's a lot of opportunities. The world is changing. Okay, we've always had a rapid rate of change in the world, and I've said that the rate of change has been accelerating really ever since I ran into computers back in So I think in today's world with COVID's not really going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us will get vaccinated, but entrepreneurs, besides making or finding a better mask, maybe they have a better mask stand. When you come into your house, you hang your masks up. Maybe you want a blue light that zaps your groceries. So I think there are tons of opportunities
Mm-hmm.
around how the world is changing. We all shifted to work remote. So
Yeah.
salespeople that were used to coming in person, they all went remote, but we know they're going to go back into the field. So as long as this change, there's opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So now is a great time. I would just say start with a small idea and see if it works before, don't eat the whole elephant at once.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And while you were starting your own company, what were some of the hardships that you faced, some of the hurdles that you came across?
Oh, it was brutal not being paid, having a
Mm-hmm.
daughter in college, and then having NYU say, well, your dad decided to quit his job. We're not giving you a bigger scholarship.
Oh.
So yeah, the financial hardship, I went 3 years with no medical insurance. Um,
Oh my God.
and and once again, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of 70-hour weeks. So some of the weeks are still really long now, but because
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do, it's not like being forced to do calculus homework that you'll never ever use again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's like really rough. I'm glad you've come so far. And what were some of your monumental successes while going along that journey?
I think landing our first Fortune 100 pharma client,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just amazing that they Googled and they found us back in
Mm-hmm.
2011. It was
Okay.
amazing. And then we also landed one of the largest banks in the world. So
Oh.
it was amazing how these big enterprises liked our solution.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just been an amazing ride ever since.
Great, awesome. And okay, so you mentioned that you work really long hours, but apart from work, what do you do when you're not working?
Well, I have 3 children. My youngest is still in the house. So
Mm-hmm.
my son and I build projects together. Well, he likes to design them, and then
Mm-hmm.
I assist him. So
Okay.
whether he got a Roy Choi cookbook, I become his sous chef.
Okay.
He's working on designing a drafting table that he can be able to fold up and take with him to
Mm-hmm.
college next year. So it's a lot of crafts, dog walking in California. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much every day I'm out somewhere getting at least 10,000 steps on a walk or a hike. So it's spending time with the family and then work.
Okay. Well, that's a good combination of exercise and creativity. It's nice to bond with the family. That's good. And could you share an important lesson that you learned from life?
Yeah, I would say I learned it from my grandmother taught me always pay the laborer. So
Okay.
as the co-founder, my staff always got paid. So I was always the last one
Mm-hmm.
if we had money left over. So treat your staff with respect and compensate them fairly. And this includes interns or whatever, because they need to live. And then,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you're in a difficult situation, try to find something or a property that you respect in the person that you're dealing with, even if
Mm-hmm.
they're really difficult. So just try to be open and look at things from their perspective. And I've even learned that from Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer. He
Mm-hmm.
helps people communicate with their pets because he understands what the pet's really trying to communicate. And we have to remember not everybody is introverted or extroverted. And we just really have to learn what personality they like to be communicated with. And in romance, they call it the language of love. Everybody has different ways of expressing love. The trick is to find that
Yeah.
that mechanism before it's too late.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And what would you say is your driving factor? What keeps you moving forward in life?
I believe we're helping our clients. My parents having a manufacturing business. My mom was in sales.
Mm-hmm.
Sales is a fact of life, and it's selling is hard. It
Yeah.
is. So my driver for Vablet, this is over a decade now. We're trying to make the life of a salesperson easier.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if they're in a regulated industry and the content can only be viewed once. They know when they're selling to their doctors, everything they need has to be on whatever device they're holding. So we're trying to make
Yeah.
their life easier. And that's what drives me is we help people every day.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Okay, so switching to the topic of books, what's your favorite book and why?
I really liked when I was going through grad school, right? In Search of Excellence, it
Okay.
was really how companies are managed. And Andy Grove at Intel would walk around and he
Mm-hmm.
would talk to his engineers and his developers. And you cannot be a CEO and sit in a high tower.
Yeah.
You really have to be on the ground level. So it was Search of Excellence was good.
Mm-hmm.
Avin Toffler, a book called Power Shift, which says, look, we have data and then we have information, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
really valuable when you
Yeah.
make it into knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about what people have been trying to do with AI for 30 years now is take data and make it into knowledge. So that just affected how I think about it. One point of data doesn't really help, but
Mm-hmm.
if I have a lot of points, is it a trend? What is going on? So I like
Mm.
that one. And then
Absolutely.
I also recommend to people who don't know what they want. And I know it sounds corny, but The Alchemist. It's just
Mm.
about decisions and where your life will take you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't always know. And maybe there's a master plan, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to explore. You have to make that decision and decide where you're going to go.
Yeah.
Just being idle doesn't help you. You have to at least move in a direction, and maybe it's the wrong direction. So
Mm-hmm.
then you move in another direction, but just keep moving.
That's true. And I've read The Alchemist like a really long time ago, and I agree with you. It's a really nice book to read, and it's a page turner. I like that. Okay, so what's the best and worst part of being a CEO or running a company?
If you work for a company,
Mm-hmm.
you go home on Friday, you don't always take work home with you.
Mm-hmm.
And as a CEO, your work is part of you.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're not working, you may be thinking about work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that sometimes I would love just to be able to turn it off.
Yeah.
And I do have engineers that answer emails and tech support at night,
Mm-hmm.
but you always kind of worry. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
ability to never exactly turning off what you do is the
Mm-hmm.
only downside. But I think the reward is far more valuable than the risk.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And for 2021, do you have a pledge?
Well, yeah, my pledge is I was planning to move to New York earlier this year
Mm-hmm.
before COVID hit. So my
Mm-hmm.
pledge is still to move to New York, but not August, it's December. So I've just
Okay.
pushed it out a little bit, but
Hmm.
my goal is just we're going to keep moving forward with our product, and I'm going to keep moving forward with my life, COVID or not.
Okay. Is that a business decision to move to New York, or just like you want to move to New York?
I'm born and raised in New York. I want to go back.
Ah, okay.
And
That's
through COVID, I think we've all demonstrated that no one really cares where
mhm.
you are when you're working.
That's true.
Uh, so there's really no financial
Yeah.
impact. I moved to New York, California,
Mhm. That's nice. Okay,
outside of
so
taxes.
it's okay. So we have reached the rapid fire section of this interview. I'm going to ask you short questions. Try to keep your answers short as well. And if you come across any question that you do not want to answer, you can say skip and I'll move on to the next one.
Deal.
Okay. So first one is, are you an Android person or an iPhone person?
I'm an Apple person
Apple.
more than I'm an Android person, but I have Android on my desk as well.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Words with friends.
Okay. Three things no one knows about you.
Fracture the rib skiing. I don't know. Is that me? I don't know. My favorite dog is a Labradoodle. I don't have a Labradoodle.
Okay.
Um, and my favorite color is periwinkle, which is just a weird color.
Okay. Interesting. What's the craziest thing someone has done for you?
Done for me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm from New York. My bar is just really high.
Okay.
I don't know. If people do something, I don't consider it too crazy.
Okay.
I skip.
Okay. Okay. No problem. What's the one thing that you would like to change about yourself?
Oh, I'd love to lose 25 pounds.
Okay. What's your spirit animal?
I'm sorry that I didn't hear you clear enough.
Spirit. What's your spirit animal?
And my spirit animal is a lion.
Okay. A rumor about you that you wish were true.
Oh, Paul's a great race car driver.
Okay. Have you, by the way, ever driven competitively?
I have driven an autocross, yes. But I
Okay.
don't at it.
Okay. What's the easiest way to piss you off?
Just be incredibly stubborn.
Okay. Okay. What's the one thing that you own that you wish you didn't?
That I know that I wish I didn't. Sorry.
What's the one thing which you own that you wish you didn't?
I bought a manual Boxster years ago, and I do really wish it would have been automatic.
Okay. I mean, years ago, probably technology wasn't that advanced, so it's
No, it
okay.
was. I just
Uh-huh.
like driving a shift, but I
Ah,
just
okay.
didn't realize that sitting in traffic like we have in California,
Mm-hmm.
first gear, second gear, first gear, it's really not
Mm,
a lot of fun.
mm-hmm. I
And if it
agree.
were
I agree.
automatic, then I wouldn't have to think about it. But I still have the car, so we still get along fine.
Okay, that's nice. What's the thing that you're most afraid of?
I think dying prematurely.
Hmm. And what's the most interesting thing that you have in your purse or wallet?
I want to say, I don't know. It's just, a wallet isn't interesting to me, so there's
Mhm.
nothing really interesting in my wallet. Oh, I have a small miniature passport.
Okay, that is definitely interesting.
It's the size of a credit card.
Is it usable or is it just like a
Oh,
toy or something?
it's real because
Oh,
if
it's
you're
real.
traveling without an E on your driver's license,
Hmm.
you have to show government issued ID.
Hmm.
So instead of carrying a big passport, I can carry this credit card.
Ah, okay, that's really interesting. And so, according to you, what new technology will transform the future?
I am very leery of it. I still think AI is
Hmm.
transforming the future. I think if we can better optimize power, for example, in California, they now charge us more money for electricity used between 6 and 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
What if most of your appliances knew automatically when the power was cheapest, like smart electric cars do, and then they'll just, automatically run the dishwasher when it needs to be run, or the washer and dryer. Let's use what little natural resources we have more
Mm-hmm.
efficiently. And that I think would be amazing. Or building in the lights turning off when no one's in the room. And we just need to be better about everything that we do when it comes to the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that one. Okay, and now you have to rate yourself from 1 to 10 on the following. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. First one is quick learner.
I'm a 10.
Okay, book enthusiast.
9.
Leader.
9.
As a CEO.
8.75.
Okay. As a friend.
I'm a 10.
Okay, awesome. So with that, we have reached the end of this interview. And before I let you go, I just have one more question for you. Could you think of 3 other business owners or CEOs who would be interested in doing an interview with me and make an introduction with them?
I
And you don't have to give the names out right now. You can get back to me through email or through LinkedIn. That's up to you.
Sure. I will, due to privacy, I'll do it digitally.
Sure, absolutely. Sounds good. Okay, so with that, we have reached the end. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for doing this interview with me today. Thank you for sharing glimpses of your life, of your background, of how you set up this company and all your struggles and successes. It was really inspiring to hear from you. Thank you for doing this talk show with me today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks, Paul. Take care.